Hello everyone, it's the VelveteenDuck here. With Drakensang Online's 10th year anniversary, there is, of course, the Dracanian Anniversary Festival. All of the major urban centers are decked out with balloons and fireworks, including the underwater city of Ashrea. You know, those are some amazing fireworks to be able to go off in an underwater city. Before we dive into the event guide itself, did you guys know that I launched the DSO database? You can find it at thevelveteenduck.com. Here, you can search for any piece of equipment that you want. If you know the stats that you want, but you don't know the name of the item, fear not. You can always use the filters to find it instead. And as always, if this video helps you out, please leave a like and subscribe. Liking costs you nothing, and it actually helps this video reach a wider audience, so please, hit that thumbs up button. Start the anniversary event by talking to Simon Clamor. Your first few quests are going to focus on farming anniversary eggs. Kill worthy monsters on any map of your choosing, normal world, parallel world, whatever, and you'll find egg openers dropping. As for the anniversary egg farming itself, there's a variety of ways to do it. You can just do it as part of your normal farming routine, as these eggs will be marked on the mini-map when you get close enough to them. If you have a lot of leftover egg openers from last year, and just want to quickly use them, you can actually use Brigavik to do some quick farming. Just loop in and out of the Sildestein portal, and there's 3 nearby egg spawn points with minimal to no killing required. There's another anniversary egg farming method, which I'll mention a little bit later since it involves farming for another quest. From the anniversary eggs, you can get the consumable firework emotes, crystals of truth, and most importantly, anniversary arena chips. There's 15 different types of chips representing 15 different arenas. There is a generic arena, as well as themed ones that represent the different regions and different events in the game. Each arena pretty much works the same way. There's 10 levels of difficulty available in this event, which is frankly unprecedented. There's even the parallel world level of difficulty, which has correspondingly higher level gear and drops. Upon entry to an arena, you'll have to click the anniversary banner, which will trigger 5 waves of monsters. Defeating the 5 waves will spawn 5 chests for you to open. There is also a small chance of spawning Darren the Spoiler, which is the boss from the Spring Egg Festival event. He will drop Easter event items such as the Daffodil costume or egg mounts upon defeat. You'll also notice a big hand at the bottom of the map. There is a quest from Festos called Mark of Bravery. You need to kill 50 worthy bosses in exchange for a single charged Mark of Bravery. Here's a handy tip for completion of this quest. Take 50 keys of prowess and go visit Medusa. She's the only normal world boss in this game that doesn't have a ridiculously long spawn animation. Plus her room is small, so you waste less time walking. Also, just outside of her room, there's an anniversary egg, so you can farm eggs at the same time as farming this quest. By the way, once you finish this quest, you can buy charged marks of bravery from Festos using Andermans, gold, or crystals of truth. There's a limit to how many you can buy, so spend wisely. With a charged mark of bravery on hand, you'll notice the big hand is now holding a red orb. Clicking on this will lead to the challenge arena. Depending on the level that you play, you'll encounter 3 random bosses from normal to parallel world merciless, and with the 2 bloodshed modes, you'll get 4 random bosses instead. It's so random that it's even possible to get the same boss more than once. Once you clear the bosses, you open a chest that drops progress and the juicy new dragon weapons. By the way, even if you don't like that unique effect for the weapon, you have to give the artists some credit. I really like the Ranger and the Steam Mech weapon appearance. Anyways, let's talk a bit about the rewards so you don't miss out on the most important ones. It's actually possible to obtain 2 concentrated solstice runes from the event this year. One is from the Winter Festival event bar, and the other one is actually purchased from Grima. In addition, you know all those inventory and locker space expansions that you see? Well, these rewards use the same mechanic that was introduced during Rising Heroes. It drops down on the left-hand side as blue boxes, and you can choose which character to apply these expansions to. There's also a new pet that's called the Cake Meanie, which can be purchased with Crystals of Truth. Here's his stats at the legendary rarity. He's not the best pet in any particular area, but he does offer a little bit of the 3 most important offensive stats. And of course, the final reward is a total of 2 gem boxes that will randomly select one of the 12 new jewels. Unfortunately, it is not possible to transfer the jewel boxes between characters in this event. Ah, yes, and the best cosmetic item? I think that goes to the 10th Anniversary Circle, which you can buy from Grima. The circle uses the Roman numeral X to represent 10, and it's just so shiny. As for the pinatas and the truncheons, you get truncheons from the progress bar or by buying it from the vendors. Regular truncheons can be used on regular pinatas, while golden truncheons are used on the golden pinatas. Frankly, the regular truncheons were a bit of a disappointment this year, mostly because gear drops are limited to level 100. As for the golden pinatas, you can buy these truncheons from Grima, and the tooltip even tells you exactly the possible jackpots, so it's not even a surprise. Okay, are you all fired up for the rewards, and now you're just worried about how to complete this event? Other than the anniversary egg farming tips that I mentioned before, the following is specifically about completing the progress bars themselves. Remember, there are 15 different progress bars and they need to be completed in order. You cannot jump the order of the progress bar, so don't waste your charge marks of bravery until you're actually on the very last progress bar. The generic arena chip is easiest to clear monster-wise, but it's also the slowest way to progress. Plus, it's going to use up a lot of inventory space because you're going to receive 15 different types of forfeit chests. So this is actually the worst method of finishing the event. The smart way to play actually is to use the themed arena chips. Every time you open the big chest in the middle, you receive a 5-minute buff. This buff will double your drops of event progress. Plus, I took my character, which is fully capable of beating up monsters in Parallel World Bloodshed, and just farmed Parallel World Infernal because I could farm progress faster using the buff this way. If you get an event attire, it's even easier because then you can just stack all of these bonuses. Using these buffs, I finished the event in a fairly lax manner in just a few days of farming. As for the challenge arena, it's pretty much the same story. There is a buff that's applied when you open the chest that lasts for 10 minutes. It's a longer buff since you have to clear the regular arena first before you can actually enter the challenge arena. Now, please remember, neither of these buffs or event attires increase the drops from the forfeit chests from the generic arena. That's why I said it's the worst possible way to try and finish the event. As well, if you have premium or deluxe, and you're drowning in gold, pay a visit to Amelia. You can purchase arena chips as well as forfeit chests from her. You can't buy enough forfeit chests to finish the event, only enough to reduce how many runs you need to complete a progress bar. Now, those of you with sharp eyes may have noticed a variety of vendors selling a brand new formula called the Dragon Bone Elixir. Despite the fact that this item is coincidentally being introduced at the same time as the anniversary event, as far as I can tell, it's not actually related, and I believe it will actually persist in the game even after the event is done. But, long story short, if you buy this scroll, you unlock the recipe to craft the Dragon Bone Elixir, which is a 15-minute long buff. This elixir causes Mortis to drop dragon bones, the number of which seems to scale to the difficulty of the Mortis that you kill. By the way, only the third form of Mortis drops the bones, so you don't need to activate it during the first 2 forms to save yourself a little bit of time. You need to collect 99,999 bones to unlock the heroic achievement that will give you the mount and title. Now, if there's any info that I left out or that I wasn't too clear about in this guide, leave it in the comment section below. Otherwise, happy farming, folks. Oh yes, and by the way, I know that DSO is celebrating its 10 years, but here on the VelveteenDuck, I'm celebrating my first year. So thank you to all of you who stuck with me in this first year, and I hope to continue seeing you around.